everything is we know for a fact that once we now know who's going to be president, that things are going to go up because we look at history. And so you were saying it doesn't matter. It could be Kamala Harris could win, Donald Trump could win. It doesn't matter. We know that when people know what's happening, then the stock market tends to go up. And you were right in your prediction, Boyce. So we were all pretty happy in that. So I'm a little concerned with Donald Trump making deals with Bitcoin and all these big corporations. I'm a little concerned with this whole fascism flavor that I'm getting from that. I hope there would be some regulations and some things because we know that businesses, all they care about is the bottom line. And so, although we are interested in making money, right? But we're interested in making money, but we also want to live in the world that is kind to everybody. So that's not the kind, good money is what we really want. So I think psychologically, it's not healthy for all of us to just think about the bottom line. I just care about what's in my banking account. I just care about how much money I have. This greed, greed, greed. We want to live in the world where everybody has opportunity. Like I don't want to live in a world where I'm walking downtown Chicago and I have to step over homeless people because in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, okay, I don't mind paying taxes so that there's a safety net for people who aren't as fortunate as I am. And that's part of the psychology. It's like you don't want to feel bad for what you have. I want to be grateful for what I do have, but I also want to see everybody else win.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
So, here's the thing, though. I went on my Robinhood app and I bought some Bitcoin for our family. And there's no bottom on how much you can buy. You can buy $20 worth of Bitcoin. Most people can afford $20, for some liquor, $20 for, some fast food or whatever, right? So I agree with you that everybody should have opportunity. Where's the blocking opportunity, right? If crypto explodes, which is actually something I've believed for a long time, I've said this for many years that these days were eventually coming. Now they appear to be here. I think there are better days to come. It's not as if opportunity wasn't there for everyone that wanted to spend money. I mean, think about how much money people spend on things that are going to give them no economic value. They maybe they spend money on whether it's going out or going to the mall, or you think about Christmas is coming. Look at how many billions are going to be wasted on toys that are going to have no value in a few months. And that same money, that same $500, a thousand, whatever that you bought toys with, a percentage of that could have gone toward buying financial assets. So I don't see any limitation on opportunity. I don't see anything corrupt here. What do you what makes you think that there's a problem with the structure of things?
I do think there's a problem with structure of things. I mean, it's important to deconstruct everything, right? To see how much of your financial situation is because of you and to see how much of it is systemic, right? So you can definitely carve that out. And there's times where we can get in control of our finances. We can get in control of things that we don't like that we see in the world. Like I'm on Instagram. I'm very vocal on Instagram of things that I'm for or against. Even on Facebook, I have a social work page on Facebook. So of course, I'm always interested in it. But in terms of my own personal finance, I do have the mindset of I'm in control of whatever is going on, right? I'm in control of my own finances regardless of what's going on in the world. I want to be able to become as financially independent as I can, which means financial independence, which means, yes, I do have to make some investments. Yes, I max out my 401k, right? So instead of buying all those Christmas gifts, I said, no, first I'm going to sit here and I'm privileged to be able to do that, right? I have a really great TIAA fund and I maximize that. I didn't have to. Not every faculty member at the university maxes it out, but I know that it was important in 2008 when I first started my real big job. I had been working as a social worker for some time, but I got this real big job and I was fortunate enough, to have a partner at the time who could cover the bill. So I understand that everybody's personal situation is different. What I'm saying is that I was able to say, I don't need to have the brand new car. I don't need to have the best gifts for my kids. I don't need to have all these things. The better gift I can give for my children is to make sure that I have retirement and inheritance and all of those things set up for them. So I did, my value system was placed into how I wanted to look at investments. Now, that's not to say to be stingy and just to say I'm never going to spend money on Christmas gifts, that you got to sit down and talk to little Johnny and tell little Johnny, hey, I want to make money in the stock market. So we're just going to cancel Christmas so that we could do that. Of course, you need some balance, but it is whatever it is, just know that you're in control of your personal finance. Yes, we look at the world, we see what's going on in the world, and we're concerned about other people. But at the end of it all, you do have to make a plan for yourself.
Absolutely. Okay.
Yeah.
So for everybody who just came in, I want to say welcome to Money in the Morning, our daily financial consciousness training. Just a reminder, if you want to be notified when we start every morning, we do this every single morning, 7 days a week at 10 a.m. Eastern. Just text the word morning to the number 87948. Text morning to 87948. Also, this weekend I spoke in Virginia at the Black Diamond Weekend, and I was explaining that it's very easy to turn your child into a millionaire. It's very easy to raise your child so they never have to work for anybody, never have to deal with racism, never have to deal with microaggressions, never have to deal with the financial desperation that's at an all-time high. And so I did a training. I'm doing a special event Thursday, one-time event called How to Turn Your Child into a Millionaire. And what I'm going to do in this special event is I'm going to break down three proprietary models that we built in the Black Business School, the KID model, the Sturdy model, and the Poise model, to show you specific step by step how you can make that grandchild into either a millionaire or something very close to it. You can get that child ready, but you got to start early. It's really very important to do this. I'm a financial scientist. We study Black wealth. We are Black wealth surgeons here. So if you want to join us on Thursday, just go to kittyboss.com. I'll put the URL on the screen so you can take a look at that. Also, I'll text out the link for you guys if you text the word morning to 87948. It's going to be Thursday night at 8 p.m. and I guarantee it'll change your life. And also, the best part is it's buy one, get 10 free, meaning you can bring your whole family. The material is yours for life. I will give you all the slides, the whole recording, and the last lecture that I did on this topic about a year ago. That recording's in there as well. So if you want to jump in right now and get a head start, you can do that. Go to kittyboss.com. I guarantee it's going to change your life. Nobody's talking about this. Everybody's talking about how hard it is for young people to get ahead financially, but nobody's explaining that it's very easy to survive in this economy and to thrive in it, but you have to prepare. People just don't prepare. So with that said, though, one thing, babe, I want to ask you about is as a therapist who talks to people consistently about the things that stress them out. How often does money come up as a stressor in a person's life or in their relationships? I mean, is that like would you say 50% of the time or more, or what are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, I find that when it comes to money stressors that I typically hear, it's typically money stressors are just an extension of other psychological issues, right? So if it's usually like an illustration. So I'll say, tell me what's going on that you're so anxious. And they'll list all of these things that's connected to anxiety, and money will be part of that. Even when I talk about gratitude and abundance, right? Money is part of that abundance. You have to incorporate the abundance and the gratitude in the everyday of your life. I mean, we got up in the morning and we went to the gym. We have to have a lot of gratitude about that, boys. We were in the 5 a.m. club. There's so many people that's not able to get up and go to the gym and work out for whatever reason. There's so many people that don't have the ability to do that. So we have to seek abundance in every little thing that we do and see how, just have a total mindset all day long in being having a lot of gratitude and appreciation for all of the things that you do have, right? So when it starts there in your lifestyle, of course, it's going to filter into money, right? You have to be appreciative of everything that you have, material. I'm appreciative of everything in my office because it is a direct representation of who I am on the inside. And I have such gratitude that I can express myself in that way, right? So you have to be in that mindset first of abundance and gratitude. And so what happens is that there's a shift in how you think. So when there's clients who talk about problems with finances, they're also, or anxiety about finances, they have anxiety about everything. They think a whole lot of things are going to go up. So we tackle each and one of those. And part of tackling this is saying that yes, it's possible. Yes, it's possible you can lose your job. Yes, it's possible that the stock market can tank. Yes, it's possible that all of these things that you're afraid of, all of these what ifs in your head that happen, it's possible. So you have to go ahead knowing, yeah, these things that I'm worried about, it's possible, but what are some things that I can control? What are some things that I can prepare myself for? Think about these things. Make it a mantra in your life about how you're going to live your life. Because if you start to feel whole, if you say, you know what, I love the fact that I have this green shirt on. It didn't cost that much money, but you know what? I love that I could express myself in wearing a color that I want today. No, it didn't cost a whole lot of money, but guess what? I don't have to spend a lot of money to feel good about myself. And that feel good situation is um it's interesting because when you have confidence in yourself and you feel good about yourself and you live your life with abundance and you're grateful for every little thing that you have, the funny thing that happens is that more things come to you. It's a psychological trick that I try to get my clients to realize, and that we practice all of these things, like just attitude of gratitude really makes things attract you. And I know because I live it. I live it. And so I can also talk about myself, but when you start to have this worry, you worry so much, you're always concentrating on the negative. And when you concentrate on the negative, what does that do to your mood? You're not grateful for what you have. Your mood is low. Your anxiety is high, and you're cranky, and no one wants to be around you. And so it's this mindset of negativity, which leads you down to scarcity. You start looking at what you don't have. You start feeling stuck. You start thinking there's no way you can get ahead. And it's a self-fulfilling prophecy.
Mm. So, okay, so it sounds to me like two things happen. Because and it's interesting because I think it relates to what we discuss every morning with financial consciousness. One thing that I've explained to you guys is that consciousness is one aspect of consciousness is being able to go to other dimensions, and I'm without
Yeah,
going into detail,
yeah,
specifically the fifth dimension is actually where you're starting to see all the what ifs or what could have beens in your life. And I think sometimes what can happen is that consciousness can work against you, meaning that instead of looking at, what is, you're stuck in what if or what could have been, right? So you're looking at your life is fine, you're safe, everything's good. But you're like, well, what if I lose my job? What if the stock market goes down? What if this happens? What if that happens? Right? And so sometimes you can turn your consciousness can you can forget we can sometimes forget that consciousness doesn't always necessarily benefit you. Consciousness is a type of power that is
yeah.
a little bit neutral in the sense that if I am conscious of all the positive possibilities, then that's going to benefit me. But if I sit and I live in my own living hell of my own creation, where
Uh-huh.
I'm constantly worried about things that haven't happened, then that is consciousness that's worked against you, which might need to be replaced. And let me tell you, and tell me if you agree with this, might need to be replaced with another type of consciousness, which might be mindfulness, where you come back to where you are, right? And you become mindful of the moment that you're in. So instead of saying, hey, this is my parents are gonna be dead in 4 years, you say, well, I've got my parents right now, and I'm going to be mindful of the fact that I get to enjoy them right now. And I say this probably as a guy who's got some sick parents. So what are your thoughts on that, babe?
Everybody's gonna die. Everybody. Everybody's gonna die. You can't control it. So why sit worry about something that is
I'm
in
not gonna die.
everybody's going to die?
I'm gonna go take the secret pill that Elon Musk is probably making in his lab.
Elon Musk,
Go
it has
ahead.
a lot of things he needs to deal with. There's a lot of things
I
Elon
know,
Musk.
I know, I know. Let's not talk about Musk. So finish your point. I was being goofy. Go ahead.
You have to believe in yourself. You have to believe in yourself. You have to know that whatever situation that you're in, you put yourself in that situation. Let's stop blaming the Democrats. Let's stop blaming the Republicans. At the end of it all, you really do need to, in that process of taking control of your life, because you can't point fingers and blame everybody else, you really do have to believe in yourself. You have to know and believe that you have the power within you to control every aspect of your life. You can control your relationship with your partner. I've done it with you, Boyce. Oh, there were some times where I just didn't know. And I said, you know what? My husband loves me and I love my husband. And we put our mind to it and it happens. Now it's easy because we really do love each other. So it flows
Yes.
so much easier.
I love you very much.
We change the whole atmosphere in an instant, can be changed. But I believe in my power. I believe in, as Black people, if we don't believe in how powerful we are, everybody else knows we're powerful. We don't know that we're powerful. And it's really sort of interesting. But you do have to kind of realize that everybody is going to die. Everybody is going to change. We're all transitioning. And, why not? I was talking about it yesterday. Why not look at it as a way where if you're stuck in a situation right now and you want to change to a new area, consciousness, you want to let go of something that's not working for you anymore and you want to move on to something else. You have really got to imagine every single day. And this is what I do. This is what helps me get to sleep at night. Every night before I go to sleep, I concentrate on what I want. And I know and believe that I can have it. And I believe in what I know, right? And I just play out the scenario. I do not worry about how I'm getting there. I do not worry about what the steps are going to be. I don't worry about anything. I just worry about, if I worry at all, I think and concentrate on the end result. This is the end result of what I want. And I imagine myself there. So it's almost like a car that you want to drive. Like if there's a certain type of car that you want to drive, don't just go, I wish I could drive that car. No, say, picture yourself in the car, sitting in the car, turning on the car and driving away in it. Like really picture yourself there, because as powerful as all of us are, the world is going to work toward what you imagine it to be true. We're wonderful creators and we create things. And I know this sounds woo-woo and it sounds all of that, but I'm here to tell you, I do it every time. I do it to myself. I do it with myself. I have a diary of all of the things that I've imagined that I want to have and want to achieve and want to do. And I'll be darned, all of it have come true. It's come true so much, it's almost scary.
What it
Because,
makes what it reminds me
go
of
ahead.
is that you really study. I would dare to call you an expert on the subconscious mind,
Yeah.
right? Like you
Yeah.
really studied the subconscious very
Yeah.
deeply. And I remember that really big book that you read on the subconscious mind. And I'll never forget. I asked you when you were on the treadmill. She gets on the treadmill and just pedals like a maniac for a really long time, and then she'll be reading a book at the same time or listening to some podcast on therapy. I mean, you really are a therapist. And I remember I asked you. I said, because I was really concerned about the subconscious because I believe that that's how they control Black people.
Yeah.
I believe that's how they control America. I believe
Yeah.
that's how they keep people broke and struggling, keep them
Hmm.
addicted to getting up and going to work every day, keeping them taking in, the nonsense from the media. And I said, so I wanted to know. So I said to you, what are the three things that impact the subconscious mind the most when people get programmed? And I'll never forget, and I'd love for you to elaborate on this and also maybe share the title of the book. You said, because it stuck in my head, you said, if I'm not mistaken, repetition, symbolism, and trauma.
Hmm.
If I'm not mistaken, is that right?
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
can you speak on some of that? Start off by naming the book, and then tell me about that piece right there.
Oh, there's a bunch of different books. I don't have just your subconscious mind. Just type
Well,
that in.
how about this? How
All
about
of
this?
them are great.
This is a good opportunity to let
I
people.
have about three of them that I listen to. I just cycle the books through. I listen to them all the time.
Okay, so how about this? You can maybe after we get done, you can compile that list, and
Oh,
I
I'll
can take
compile the
it out.
list.
So
Yeah, send that.
if you guys want to receive that list of books from Dr. Alicia, as well as other stuff. She's got a lot of good resources. Text the word love to the number 87948. So everybody pull out your phone, text LOVE to the number 87948, and we'll send you some information. And also, we did do something called a Black Love Challenge about 3 or 4 years ago. That's really, really good. And also, you can get a free copy of my book, Financial Lovemaking, if you go to boyceandalicia.com. So boyceandalicia.com. Feel free to take a look. But go ahead, babe, please.
Yeah, so symbols. Symbols is a great way to program your subconscious mind. Like every goal that I have in my life, I write it down, I take out the vowels, I manipulate the letters, and I use it as a symbol and I put it up somewhere in my office because I don't consciously remember what it is, but I know at one point I use this symbol because I know it works to program myself so that I'll just know what it is. And the thing is that when you want to manifest something and you want to use symbols in that, you can just look at that symbol and you can create it for yourself so that you can program yourself. So symbols are something that that media uses a lot to control us. So I remember in I can't remember, I think it was Duke University. They had someone hung a noose in the bathroom, right? It was just a symbol. It was just a noose, right? But because it was associated with something so painful and traumatic in the sense for Black people, when we see that noose, we're like, oh my goodness, I cannot believe this is racist. This is terrible. And all the Black students gathered together and was protesting this symbol, right? Why was that so meaningful to us? Because it was connected to a very traumatic part of our history, right? So trauma and in encapsulated in this symbol made everybody stop studying. We stopped going to class and we paid attention to something, right? That was this symbol. So in a way, it definitely is used to kind of manipulate us so that we can stop doing what we were doing. Another thing is like trauma for sure. So like there was a neighbor down the street. I had this dog, Boyce, that was like almost talking about dying. That dog was so old. It was
I,
sitting in the
I know
corner.
you, I remember you telling me about that dog.
Brutus was sitting in the corner and people would come to the house and he would just sit there, barely look at anybody. Well, we had a mom come to the house and she saw the dog sitting there in the corner and she had a meltdown. Oh my God, I can't believe this dog is here. Oh my God, lock the dog up. Just screaming to the top of her lungs, thinking that this dog was going to attack her that never moved from the corner of the room. And I was like, what the hell? Like, just like, tell me what happened. So in that, she was like, I got attacked by a dog a long time ago. And and so it wasn't the dog, it was her trauma that really made her afraid of so much so that she was like, she saw us running down the street or whatever. She said, how y'all do running in the neighborhood? Aren't y'all scared of dogs? Somebody come and attack you? I'm like, no, lady, we don't have that, right? So she was like, I would never walk outside. She doesn't even walk outside. She's that afraid of dogs. So that's the symbolism. Repetition is the third one. Well, that's trauma and symbolism. Repetition is like, how do you know your ABCs, right? It's repetition. Some people can say their ABCs because it's in a song. And we know that what you hear in music and songs, it can program you to see the world in a certain way. Symbols, song lyrics. There's song lyrics I know from when I was 7 years old. And I'm like, how do I know this? Because I heard the song 100 times already. Commercials. Advertising companies definitely know that repetition is important. And it's funny because we were asleep on the couch and the commercial was playing on the background. Remember that a couple of days ago? And I said, Boyce, do you realize that advertisers love the fact that we're on the couch asleep because they know if they play their commercials over and over again while we're sleeping, because our conscious mind is asleep, but our subconscious mind never goes to sleep. It's always awake. And so they know that's what they want. So next thing you know, we're in the grocery store and we're buying things because they've sold it to us. So that's the thing with programming your subconscious mind. I like to take that information and program myself. But here's the thing. What's the number one person, what's the, not number one person, what's the number one influencer in somebody's programming of their subconscious mind? What's the number one?
Number one influencer. Themselves. Yourself, right?
No, it's not yourself.
Oh, okay.
And Robert, it's not
I,
rap music. What's the
well,
number
I
one?
think rap music does do the repetition piece though, right? Like if you're constantly hearing like kill that N word, kill that N word, kill that N word, kill. Oh,
Yeah,
but
but they don't do it as much.
I don't know what.
A few
Go ahead.
people mentioned it. It's your mama and your daddy. They
Mm,
are the number one. And when you mention about your Kitty Boss program, children are going to do. They're going to look at money similarly to how their parents look at money. They're looking to their parents to see what conversations their parents have about money, and that is going to influence children, right? They're going to look and see when they're at the grocery store and they're buying certain things, what is that language? What are they using? If they're like, "Oh my God, this is too expensive," and they put it back, right? Oh my goodness, the bills are due. Oh my goodness, they hear what's going on. And so they are doing exactly what their parents are doing. I know my dad would, he would always tell me, "Hey, a car gets you from point A to point B." He used to say that to me all the time. That's the point of a car. There's no need to always feel like you have to have the most fancy car. You just get into a car and you go get from point A to point B to point A. He used to show me his checkbook and I was visiting him and he would be like, all money is additions and deletions. Like
hmm.
he was removing the emotion out of it. He said, "It's just adding. See that? I just added." We went to the, he balanced his checkbook as he went to the grocery store. And he would like, this is back in the 80s, y'all, you know, and he would write the check. He would give the people the check and his ID, and then he would subtract it from his checking account. He said, "Look, I just made a subtraction. But guess what? I'm be adding to it too." So he took all of that out and he used these as lessons on for money. So it's your parents is really the number one. I mean, think about it. How many times do your parents tell you to say thank you, say you're sorry? Next thing you know, you're walking around thanking people and they ain't even do nothing for you. It's just automatic sort of thing. So your parents is the number one. And your environment, of course, your parents in particular, that's number one people who program you, and particularly program you in terms of your outlook when it comes to money.
Interesting. Okay. Okay. So, I think that in what you're saying, it's really interesting. I love that analysis of the subconscious mind because, it's almost like it reminds me, like you always say, whenever you see something on TV and they talk about like the devil or evil, you always say that 'cause that's really your subconscious mind or that's the dark side. I mean, I'm not gonna misquote you here, but
Yeah.
and you can correct me, but and it's interesting because I've also heard pastors say things like, the best way for the devil to get you is to convince you that he does not exist, right?
He
So here,
doesn't exist.
right, but listen, hold on, let me make the connection here. So basically, you say the devil lives in your subconscious, and then the
Yes.
pastor says the devil gets you because he convinces you he doesn't exist. Well, I think that the way that they're able to program our subconscious minds through media, the politicians do it, corporations do it, etc., is to make us sort of feel like it doesn't exist, right? Like we don't even most people are not even aware of the subconscious mind or how it works, or that it's one of the most powerful parts of your brain that there is, if not the most powerful part, right? If I go out and I have a conversation about the subconscious mind, think about how many people would have no idea like what we're talking about, right? And they'll say things like, "Oh, hip hop music doesn't affect me. It's just entertainment. It's just music." That tells me you don't know nothing about the subconscious mind, or I'm going to choose not to do X, Y, Z, and that's gonna be just fine. But it's like no, if your subconscious has been programmed, you're gonna gravitate in that direction even when you don't know it. So it seems to me that the conditioning of the subconscious mind through self-talk and things like that is a great pathway to success in money, life, and everything else. What do you say to that?
Listen, all of us have the power in ourselves to fix whatever problem that we're in. And when you start to doubt your power, that's evil.
Mm,
When you doubt how powerful and strong you are, how you can control everything that happens in your life. When you start to have those negative thoughts, when you start to have anxiety and you start worrying about things, that is evil. That's the devil. It stops you from living. And I know someone mentioned it in the chat that evil is lived backwards.
mm,
Devil is lived backwards. And that is, I couldn't agree with that more. There is nothing outside of you that is going to penetrate and make you fall off your goal in life unless you allow it in you. And when you allow that in you, that's evil that you've allowed in you. So yes, when your subconscious mind and you firmly believe that you're not pretty enough, you firmly believe that you're not worthy, you firmly believe that you have to look and see, you have to place your happiness on something outside of yourself. When you firmly believe that, that's when you're allowing evil to come in.
mm,
Because guess what? You have to get to the point, and I do this with my clients. You have to get to the point that all of those negative thoughts came from somewhere outside of you because we're not born thinking terrible about ourselves. Have you seen children play? I ain't never seen somebody more confident than children when they play, and they know how to pretend. You can't tell me. I had my little Tay Tay. I bought her a little kitchen, and she was cooking up food in the kitchen, and she was like, "Here, eat this. It's soup." And I had to sit there and eat it. It was pretend. You couldn't tell me that she didn't make the best soup in the world. You couldn't tell her that. And if you did, she was looking at you like something wrong with you.
mm,
But when we have this self-doubt, that's evil. When you feel like you're too weak to do it and that you have to now worry and be afraid of something, whatever, the boogeyman. Listen, you're afraid because a noose was hung in a bathroom. Like, really? Is that really going to stop you from doing whatever you need to do to graduate from college? And you're going to stop and make a protest because a noose was hanging out of the bathroom? Ain't no head in the noose. It's just a noose in there, right? So that is how don't let those things penetrate you. And that is evil. When negative thinking and depression and all of these horrible thoughts that has an effect on your mood in a negative way, that is evil.
mm. Well,
That's it.
well,
Hollywood lets us think that it's, something else, but it's not. Go
okay.
ahead. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay. And by the way, my wife has done some excellent books on financial anxiety and coping with that as you sort of invest and deal with the ups and downs of the market. So if you go to drboycebooks.com, you can if you look up the word Alicia, you can find her there. Find a lot of her stuff there. So feel free to go to drboycebooks.com and take a look. And so one of the things I wanted to ask you about is, and I wrote it down because I really wanted to dig into this, is just and I think you kind of alluded to some of this, the management of financial anxiety. Like right now, what we're dealing with, and everybody should know this, is with Bitcoin going crazy like it is, you're getting a big dose of what is referred to as irrational exuberance. Irrational exuberance. Robert Shiller came up with this. He's a great economist, and basically he talks about how people can really get so excited about a market that when they start hearing about it and they see the prices going up, it literally creates a high and it can cause you to make some irrational investment decisions, right? Where you feel like you have to go buy stuff because you don't want to miss out. There's a lot of FOMO that's there. So you got to really manage your FOMO. There's also another theory, and this relates to Bitcoin, and this theory is called the greater fool theory. The greater fool theory basically says that when you are buying an asset that's been hit by irrational exuberance and the price is pushed beyond where it should be, that basically what you're really doing is you're kind of looking for a greater fool. You're looking for somebody who, so
Ah,
you go out and you buy something for $3,000, that in your mind you kind of know maybe it was only worth 1,000, a year ago, but you're like, no, I'm gonna buy it for 3,000 because I believe there's a greater fool. There's somebody else out there that's going to buy it for more than what I paid for it. Now, this actually is a theory that's applied to Bitcoin, actually, because a lot of economists, as much as I love Bitcoin, I told y'all, I do believe that there's a whole lot of fools going up to a quarter million or more, right? I think only I'm an owner of Bitcoin and all this other stuff, but here's the deal. Bitcoin is not a company. It doesn't make a product. Bitcoin isn't even a currency. You can't really spend it, the way people claim that you can. So there is a big question about like, well, why does it have value? What's really happening? So what I think is driving some of this, and it does still link to the greater fool theory, is that there's a belief that others are going to believe in it. There's a belief that once that the U.S. government, I think Elon Musk posted that the government, or somebody posted it, but the government's thinking about buying $80 billion worth of Bitcoin. So the government buying $80 billion worth of Bitcoin, and then the price going up, leading to greater mainstream adoption of Bitcoin, is going to legitimize the currency, or it could, which could cause the value to go up because everybody wants it, demand supply. So these are some of the things that are happening. But one of the things I want you to understand is that which goes up can really come down. If you've been buying Bitcoin for years, you will see that there have been crashes along the way that were ugly. I don't know if I told you about this, babe, but I had someone on the internet who shall remain nameless who spent a lot of time attacking me in 2019 when Bitcoin crashed, saying Dr. Boyce is telling people that he's buying Bitcoin, and even though I say I don't give investing advice, this person was still like he's wrong and he's stupid, and I didn't respond to it because clearly the person doesn't know anything about investing. I know that I'm sure that they're quite broke because they don't understand investing is the long game. It's not the short game. It's not like, oh, because I told you about this stock and I think that I chose to buy it, that I know it's going to be up in 2 or 3 months or even in 2 or 3 years. Sometimes it takes 5 or 6 years for something to manifest. So this requires you to be conscious and thoughtful and to have a plan and not get caught up in the hype and the frenzy that's around you. So with that said, I want to ask you, babe. So when the crash comes, because the crashes always come,
Yeah.
what are some basic tools a person can use to deal with the anxiety that we feel internally when we open up that portfolio one day and it doesn't look like today? Like today, everything's green, green is up, but one day you're gonna see a whole lot of red. Can you tell me how I can cope with that?
I say get this PDF. You can go online and get it. The Hermetic Principles. Who knows about the Hermetic Principles? Let's see, there's a lot of people in here. I know y'all heard about it. Get it and read it and apply it to your life. Apply it to what Boyce is talking about. And one of the Hermetic Principles is the principles of rhythm. Principles of rhythm. And that means things are ebbing and things are going to flow. What goes up must come down. What is down must come up, right? You can't stop it. And here's the problem. If you try to get in the way of any of these hermetic principles, understanding that things fluctuate and that is how life is. I was talking about it yesterday. Right now in Chicago, it's so beautiful outside because the trees are dying. The leaves of the trees are dying and falling off the tree. But I ain't gonna worry about it because it's falling. It's what kind of is that bear or what do they call it? Bull? That's bearish or bullish?
Well, when things fall, that's bearish.
Bearish. Things are bearish right now outside. That's nature. But I know come March, I'm going to see the little buds on the tree. It's going to be bullish in March. So I just know that everything has cycles. I can't tell that tree, hey, you must live forever. I can't tell Elon Musk, hey, it's impossible to get a pill to live forever. Like that's unrealistic to be able to live forever. It's just like the whole purpose of us being born is to learn lessons, not to live forever, right? That's the whole purpose of life. We can go into that another time, but the thing is that you can't skirt around it. There is no magic pill that will make sure that everything goes up. And of course, Boyce has talked to you about strategies. You got to diversify. Don't put all your money in Bitcoin. That ain't smart. You got to be able to diversify, right? You have to be able to know what you can control. So even though things are ebbing and flowing, you have to tell yourself, this is not awful. When things are down, that's a great time to buy, my understanding. When things are up, maybe that's the best time to do stock options or something like that. I don't know. Boyce is the
Yeah,
expert in this, but he has a plan in place. So you just get a plan in place and just ride the waves, understanding that it is the universal way the life works. And if you try to fight against it, you're going to look rigid. You're going to be frustrated. You're going to be negative. You're going to be annoyed. You're going to be moody. And it's just, that doesn't work for you. Go ahead.
yeah, I think that's a great point, and I think that's a great way to kind of transition into the conclusions of the conversation. But ultimately, I just want to tell everybody, the more level you can stay during times like this, the better off you are. Remember dopamine, dope. That you got but you're gonna deal with a lot of dope heads right now, because crypto, we're in the middle of a frenzy, and it's an opportunity to make some money. A lot of you that have been following and listening to some of the things we've been talking about, I know you're getting paid because I know what a lot of you own. And I know some of you literally, I'm telling you, babe, there's some people in this room right now that made over $100,000 in the last 24 hours. And I'm happy for them, happy as heck. And this is interesting to me because this is a side of the black community nobody talks about. Everybody
Oh,
thinks,
listen, we don't want anybody talking about it.
mm,
This the revolution will not be televised, boys. We gotta keep it secret. You
it's so
can't be going
true.
out televising everything. You gotta keep your mouth shut. You know this.
There we go. Yeah, that's right. That's not televised the revolution. Yeah, yeah. If you are making money, keep it to yourself. Don't be out telling all your relatives and stuff, unless you're inviting them to participate in what we're doing. Then you can bring them along. But at the same time, though, I think yeah, more money, more problems. If you are advertising the money that you make, that is not going to typically bring good energy to you. You're going to attract leeches. So just
Stay
be really
humble.
about that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So be smart about that. All right. So one last thing I want to mention to everybody is that tonight I'm going to join my wife. I'm going to support her on her mental health Mondays, and she does this every Monday at 8 p.m. Right, babe?
Yeah, 8 p.m.
Okay,
8
it's 7 Central, 8 Eastern, 8 p.m. Eastern.
Yes.
And if you'd like to get an invitation to Mental Health Mondays, so what we're going to cover tonight is how to deal with the stress of being a provider, right? Just the psychology of that, and kind of look at some of the theory and everything else, and really help you in that because there's a lot of financial stress out there. A lot of people feeling, just weighed down. A lot of you that are in the sandwich generation, a lot of young people, Gen Zs are getting just hammered. And this, and this makes me sad. So this is what we're going to cover tonight. Is it going to be just me and you, or are you bringing in another like a therapist?
I'm bringing a therapist in. You know, I have to bring a therapist in. Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay. So if you'd like to be notified and get an invitation, pull out your phone, text the word love to the number 87948. So text love to 87948. If you live in another country, I'll probably email something out later on today. So make sure you're on the email list. A good way to get on the email list might be, I don't know, let me think here. I'll text out a list of stocks, and if you actually, because I wanted to make a list of some of the crypto stocks that I like anyway. So if you click on that list, you'll be on the email list. That way, for those of you that live in other countries, you can stay connected. And last but not least, don't forget that tomorrow we're doing Stock Market Tuesdays, and that's for those of you that are in the Black Stock Market program. There's a lot of opportunities out here, a lot of money being made, a lot of things on the horizon that I'm super excited about. So if you'd like to learn about that, we've got something for you almost every single day in the Black Business School. Remember, we have the only Black financial therapy department in the country. We have PhDs. We have the same people that charge you 100,000 to go to college and gave you that degree that put you in debt that you're mad about. We've got people that are more qualified than that. The difference is that unlike your university, if you went to University of Alabama or University of Connecticut, unlike your university, we focus specifically on Black people and Black families. That's it. That's what we think about. That's what we focus on. That's what we're analyzing, and it's very effective. The things that we do actually work. And so, if you want to join us in that event on Thursday, where I'm going to show you specific steps, simple steps you can apply right now that will guarantee your child will be financially secure. And if you do it at a certain level, your child will be a millionaire. It's very easy to do. It's like driving straight down the road. Go to kittyboss.com. That's going to be a one-time event I'm going to do Thursday night at 8 o'clock. And I'm going to break down 3 proprietary models that we have in the Black Business School: the KID model, the Sturdy model, and the Poise model. These 3 models if applied properly by parents and grandparents that love their kids and love their nieces, nephews, mentees, whoever, those kids are going to be fine. And why is that important? It's important because you don't want them out here struggling like that. Like, I don't, give me a yes. Has anybody seen this? Give me a yes. Let's just really, I want you to really understand why I'm pushing this to you. Give me a yes if you've seen all the conversation about how hard it is for the Gen Zers to survive. Give me a yes if you've seen how many 25, 26 year olds are just drowning, mad, struggling. And I'm gonna just tell you the truth. I get very frustrated when I see it because if you see what I see, you see that this was a problem that could have been easily solved. Like my thought is like, well, where were your parents? Where were your grandparents? Did anybody know anything about how to prepare? So the best way to solve a problem is to solve it in advance. Preparation is the key to protection and preservation. So
You
if you prepare, if you start early, you start when they're 2, 3, 4, 5 years old, and you're consistent with your planning, your child is not only are they financially secure in their 20s, but they are literally in a position where they don't have to work for anybody if they don't want to. That sounds crazy. It sounds like a pipe dream, but this is not a pipe dream. This is validated by mathematics in the field of finance. I can show you the math. So don't believe the nonsense. Like, oh, it's bad and it's gonna be hard and I can't do anything about it. You can do something about it. You just gotta stop listening to the wrong people. Stop listening to these people out here that want you to think that there's no way out. They want you in the trap. They want you stuck. They want you to believe the only way to survive is to get up and go to work at some horrible job and make just enough money to get by. Can't never own nothing. Prices of everything's going up. Corporations don't give a damn about you. But the money's out there. There's money out there. Elon Musk, he ain't getting his kids ready to go out here and hustle and struggle. He knows where the money resides, and I know too. So anyway, that's what we're gonna cover. So if you want to come, if you really want to drill into this, again, there is a fee, but the fee is discounted. I think it's 199 for lifetime access for everything. I think that's a fair price compared to what people pay to go to college and all that. But then also for today only, if you go there now, you can actually get it all for $59 or something like that. So we made it an offer you can't refuse. And but we have to raise money for the Black Business School. That's why everything can't be free. But if you want to really get the most out of it, bring yourself, bring your spouse, bring your kids. Bring your kids, expose them to economics early so they have a chance to win. So I don't know, give me a yes or no. Did I convince you a little bit? Did I get you did it, are you feeling what I'm feeling? I'm over talking and I know I am, but I'm sorry. I'm really passionate about this and it's easy, straightforward, very simple, basic stuff will solve the very complex problems. Don't take a simple problem and make it complex by not preparing. That's all I got to say. I'm done. Babe, did you have the final word? I talk too much, but please.
really? You say you talk too much, but it don't ever stop you from talking.
It
I
don't.
talk too much, and then you go on and talk too much.
I ain't gonna lie. I be feeling the Holy Ghost. Like God's like, okay, tell him again. You got to say it in a different way, because I just I think that the key to life is the simple stuff. It's like little basic things, and they don't. I just don't understand this country sometimes because I don't think they want us doing the basic things that'll keep us healthy, happy, whole, and safe. I think they want us struggling on the edge, economically desperate, and I
You
don't
think
want
this
that.
country's out for us, against
I,
us?
I think that capitalism is a beastly bitch, and I think
Okay, yeah,
capitalism is a form of pimping. It really,
uh-huh. It
and
really is.
I understand how people at the top of the food chain think, and
Yeah.
they just it's survival of the fittest, and their fundamental belief is like, look, if you ain't prepared and you don't understand what's going on, then you deserve whatever you get, and that's
Right.
unfair. That's not right at all. And I can
Well,
tell
the
you.
thing is that no one's stopping any of us from doing these things. Like, we don't live in the world where you can't do these things. Like, who's going to stop you from opening up an investment account? No one's stopping you. But guess what? They don't even care because they got your mind in control. They don't
Mhm.
care what you do because they're controlling your mind. They're going to put up some racist quote. They're going to put up some some something that's going to charge up black people to be thinking about something else when meanwhile they're making money. they're
Right, right.
they we're so easy to get off our target. We're so easy as a whole, not all of us in here, but no one's stopping you from doing it. They don't even lose zero sleep thinking about the fact that we're doing this. So come on, please.
That's right. That's right. Okay, so some of you are asking a couple of things. One is The event for Thursday is Thursday night at 8 o'clock, and you can go to kittyboss.com. I forgot to mention that. The URL is right above my head. I'll also text you out a link if you get on the text list. Text the word morning to 87948. Also, Dr. Alicia, her Mental Health Monday is tonight at 8 o'clock. If you want to be notified, just text the word love to 87948, and she'll also text that. Maybe you can send me, babe, that list of those books on the subconscious
Oh,
mind.
the books. Yes, I will send you the
Let
list.
folks know about that. All right, so we're about to roll up out of here. God bless you. It was great to see you guys, and it was real. We had a great time, and I hope you benefit from this discussion. And we're going to be right back tomorrow, right on top of our economics, 10 a.m. It's totally free, so bring your family if you want to, and I'll text you guys tomorrow morning. So have a good day, everybody, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye bye.